Okay, today we're going to have a discussion about plants, and the question and prompt is it a plant? We've learned a lot about plants so far. You have a lot of information, and you had some things to look at on your paper, and you needed to decide which things were plants and which things weren't. What's your thinking about the things that you saw on your paper?
That vines aren't plants since they don't have roots. But like all the other kinds from most pictures, it doesn't show any roots on them. I disagree with Rico because a tree has roots and usually vines grow in trees. And so the vine inside the tree has roots going down to the ground. I agree with Harper because vines do grow. They do have roots and they do make their own food. So they basically are a plant. They're just like all plants.
Yeah, you can use your paper if you want to look at it for a second. You can look at it.
A tree is a plant because it comes from a seed. I learned that just because if people don't want a certain plant in their garden, it doesn't mean it's not a plant. It just means that it's a plant that fruits better plants. The spikes on the cactuses are actually leaves, not points, but it does make food. I disagree with Nate because I don't think he's right because I learned that the leaves are actually like the things in the middle of each of the rows of spikes, but the spikes are just to protect the plants. I have something that Linda adds that she is right that it's a plant because it starts out as a seed. Every plant has to start. Well, it doesn't have to start out as a seed. I disagree with Harper and I agree with Nate because it doesn't really look like it because there's spikes. They might protect probably, but I disagree with Harper and I agree with Nate. Well, I agree with Abby because trees do actually start out with a seed and then they get bigger. I agree with Evelyn, and I was kind of thinking the same thing because even though people don't want them in their garden, it doesn't mean they're not a plant. It's just a plant that people don't want. I disagree talking about like the tree letting go of a seed and planting another one, it don't start out as a seed.
What about some of the other pictures that are on the paper?
I have something.
I think a weed is not a plant
Can you tell me why?
because it takes up all the sun and energy and water from the other plants.
Does it have leaves?
No. Yes, it does.
Does it have roots?
Yes.
Does it grow?
Yes.
Does it make its own food?
Yes.
Anybody else have any thoughts about that?
I respectfully disagree with Lily because
Can you tell me what she said that you disagree with?
that a plant, tree has to start out as a seed. It could like start out as like a little tiny thing that, well, kind of seed, but
So,
just a
is a
little-
tree a
little-
plant?
Yes,
How do you know?
because it makes its own food as leaves. It has roots and has a stem, which is the trunk.
I agree with Harper and a little bit of I respectfully disagree with May because Harper, I think she said something that the leaves have like the spikes on them or something like that.
Is a cactus a plant?
Yes.
How do you know?
It's got roots, it needs water, it has leaves, and it's got a stem.
Does it make its own food?
Yeah.
I want you to think about what Ben said. Does anybody have something to say about what Ben said?
I think that a weed is not a plant because it doesn't give us food. Other plants mostly do give us food.
Do all plants give us food?
No, but some plants do. Like a tree gives us apples. Or
Well, if it's an apple tree.
Or if it's a lemon tree.
I respectfully disagree with Ben and Evan.
What?
I respectfully disagree with Ben and Evan because a weed still has roots and it makes its own food.
That's what I said.
It and just as I said before, just because people don't want it in the garden, it doesn't mean that it's like not supposed to be there. It's like it doesn't mean it's not a plant.
I respectfully disagree with Evan and Ben because weeds are plants. They have roots. They need water. They grow. They make their own food. And they do everything that a plant does.
What about some of the other things on your paper?
I got one that is laying on the paper.
So I'm thinking about grass, the dandelions, the water lilies. No one said anything about those things yet.
I know something that is laying.
Can you put your hand? You don't need to raise your hands, boys and girls.
I think everything is a plant that grows in the ground. Because it basically does everything that a plant does. It has roots, and it has a stem, makes its own food. So I think everything here is a plant.
Maybe someone who hasn't had a chance to talk yet, Connor? Can you see someone over here that hasn't had a chance yet?
Alana?
I respectfully disagree with Evan because plants don't need to have food to be a plant.
Interesting. So I'm going to stop you, and I want to ask you something about, first I want to just recap a little bit. It sounds like most people agree that all of the things on your paper is a plant because they all have roots, they all have leaves, they all make their own food, and sounds like some people are still thinking that weeds are not plants, but some people are trying to help other people think about them as being plants, because even though they don't want them in their garden, they're still plants. At least that's what I heard. I also heard that just because a plant doesn't give us food doesn't mean it's not a plant. So I heard lots of really good thinking. I want to ask you, what do you think? I thought this went really well. I just want you to say one thing that you think went really well about this meeting. This was a really good science meeting. One thing that you think went well. Evelyn, just shout it out.
I think that everyone was taking turns, and some people were trying to give people that didn't have a turn a chance to talk if they wanted to
Yes,
talk.
I agree with you. Nate.
If they politely disagree, we didn't whine or make a
Yeah.
big fuss.
Nobody got angry with somebody who was disagreeing with them. Evan, nice and loud.
I thought that when people tried to give it to him, they didn't really get to talk, but after they were done, they would give it to him.
Yeah, that was great. Alana, one thing. What do you think went well?
I think that everybody didn't start shouting out at when people were talking.
Yeah, everyone was quiet. Lily, one thing.
I like it because, like, when if like someone if someone knew someone was wrong, they wouldn't just like shout out, "You're wrong."
Yeah, awesome. That was awesome. River.
I think it was good because like I thought that people would just go like give it to their friends, like the girls
Yeah.
would give it to the girls.
They didn't, did they?
No.
They didn't just give it to their friends. Harper, last one.
Well, like if someone disagreed, they would say I respectfully disagree. So
Pe-
they wouldn't
yeah.
have anyone to-
People were they were very respectful, not disrespectful, right? Well done.